This is the Horse Radio Network.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1326, where Mary Kitzmiller and I take a close look at rewarding your horse. This episode is brought to you by Guaranteed Horse Products, makers of Flyby Plus. Let's get our training tip. Reward your horse. Make sure to stop and let your horse know he's got it right. Explain to us how this got inspired, because there's always some event in your life that inspired your tip each month.
Well, actually, training Mustangs, as usual, because that's all I do these days, besides the 50 other things I'm doing. But
well, you're also training goats.
Yes.
And catching loose cows.
Oh, my gosh, every day. Yeah. So yeah, the training tip, it seems kind of generic. And of course you read it, reward your horse, make sure you let your horse know he's got it right. Most people would read that and will go, yeah, duh, that's how horse training works. But there are several instances where I'm constantly reminded about this and where I remind people about this fact when they're telling me what their horse's issues and problems are. And it is actually my answer to one of the training questions we've gotten this month. So reward your horse, let him know he's got it right. As you know, I'm big into clicker training and using food in training. This does not necessarily mean you have to feed your horse cookies. If I'm not using a food reward, my biggest reward I can give my horse is a big release of pressure and a long break. People don't let their horses stand and chill during a ride enough. I learned this from training reining horses, where if you've just done something spectacular with your horse, something that took a lot of effort, say this amazing reining spin, or your horse just slid 20 feet into the ground, or did a beautiful lead change, the reiners taught me to break the horse down, let him stop moving, and just sit there, throw the reins away, and let that horse just chill for a little bit. And this does two things. It lets the horse know, hey, I'm not going to bother you for about 5 or 10 minutes. You just get to chill out. And usually if the horse has done something very athletic, he's going to be physically tired and he needs to take a break and catch his air. He needs a bit of a mental break. And the other thing that this accomplishes is you are slowly teaching your horse to love standing and relaxing. How many people have problems out there with their horse not standing still? If you're on the trail or you're waiting for your class to start at a show, your horse gets really fidgety. Well, you can prevent this issue by making a nice long break a good reward. And so putting this to use, I am working on my Mustang Sage right now. We leave for Kentucky for the Kentucky Makeover on Monday. And riding wise, Sage is pretty far behind. We're working to catch up. She's coming along beautifully. She's going to make a great horse for someone, but she's just, she's a little behind training wise, because she had a few challenges in the beginning. So I'm working on, the best thing I'm working on right now is lead departures from a walk. And she doesn't know yet how to go from a walk to a lope. She can canter from a trot easily, but it's a huge effort for her and any horse really to strike off into the correct lead into a beautiful canter from the walk. That takes a lot of impulsion on the horse's
there's a lot of core muscles involved with that one. Yep.
Yes. And so what I often see with people who have problems that are similar to this, or even problems picking up the correct lead, is let's say you're riding a horse along. Let's say you have a problem getting your lead. You want the right lead. The horse is constantly giving you the left lead. So you ask for the right lead. The horse picks up the left lead. So you break them down, set it up.
Explain
again.
what you mean by break them down, because folks from the English world might not know what you mean by that.
When I say break them down, and this comes from the reiners, if I'm going to stop my horse, in reining terms, to me, stop means bury your butt in the ground and slide. So unless I'm working specifically on that maneuver, which is very important to a reining horse, I don't ask my horse to halt unless we're working on that. Because if I ask, let's say I'm working on leads or lead changes, and I need to set my horse up again, or I even need to reward him. If I say the W word, whoa, and ask my horse to stop, and he does not bury his butt and slide into the ground, big sliding stop, then I have to work on that. I have to fix that immediately. And so that can be very disruptive if I'm really wanting to work on our leads. And
so basically, it's there. You have a different request rather than saying stop, which is
yes,
nomenclature for stop movement. You're actually saying to the horse, go back to trot or go back to walk.
Yes. Okay. Go through all the downward gaits to come to a stop or walk, as it were. So I do that by relaxing my seat. And those horses know very well what that means. If I quote unquote stop riding, meaning I don't have the energy in my seat, I let all the air out of my body, that horse should just trickle down, trot, 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 walk, 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 stop.
Yeah. So that's the difference. If you had a standard shift automobile, you come to a stop sign, you put your foot on the clutch and hit the brake, you stop, but you're still in third gear, versus going downshift from third gear to second gear to first gear to a stop. That's breaking exactly down.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. That way, I don't have to, like, say if I'm quote unquote breaking my horse down to reward them. Let's say my horse gave me the most beautiful, majestic flying lead change ever. And all I want to do is let him sit and rest and just bask in the glory of that wonderful lead change. So he does this gorgeous, perfect, wonderful flying lead change for the first time ever. And I want to give him a big reward. If I say, whoa, after that to stop him, to let him have his break, and that horse does not slide, does not give me a good, powerful stop, I have to fix it.
Yeah, because now you've asked for another movement, and it wasn't brilliant, because you want to stop with that brilliant movement so that the horse goes, oh, that was the right answer. Got it.
Yes. And if he doesn't slide correctly, let's say he stops on his front end or he runs through the stop a little bit, I have to fix it. And by doing that, I ruin this wonderful moment he had of giving me that beautiful lead change. And he will never know that he did so good on that lead change because now I'm fixing the stop. So what I do instead is he gives me this beautiful, brilliant, wonderful lead change. All I want to do is let him just stop, rest, take a breath. I may even get off of him and be done with the ride if it was that great. So what I will do to reward that is I will relax my body, stop riding, let him trickle down to trot, 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 walk, 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 come to a stop. And this also makes your horse brilliant at reading your seat, because that horse is craving the moment where, oh my gosh, my person's let me rest for a little bit. And so they're going to be waiting for you to relax and allow them to come all the way back down to a stop. There's not a wrong way to do that, really. So I don't sacrifice my good stop, and I don't sacrifice my ability to reward my horse and let him know, man, that was so good. So that's a good training tip in and of itself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very interesting. In the English community, maybe the equivalent to this would be the horses giving you're doing a jumping school and got that grid, you nailed it. He got to the base of the vertical, left the hot back rail of the oxer up, and then brought himself back to the next vertical without ticking it with his front toes. You're thrilled. You land on the far side, and rather than gathering the horse up into a halt, you just gradually let him canter out onto a long rein and let him break into a trot and trot out on a long loose rein. Might be a similar process in that you are not actively seeking any further movements from the horse. You're just letting him naturally glide back into a walk and take a break. That's very interesting.
And I will do that, my version of that as well. Let's say my horse just has a nice little moment of collection in the bridle, and maybe it's not so monumental that we need to stop our ride. and have a break, but I want to let my horse, man, you just really gathered yourself into that frame beautifully. And I want to let you know that. I'll do the same thing of I'll let the rein go and just go for a hack. Just like say, hey, just trot out along the long side of the rail for a bit before I gather you back up again. That just lets the horse know, man, that little moment you had there was very nice. We're going to, take a breath and then go again.
Fly-By Plus by Guaranteed Horse Products is a totally unique fly spray that works on a molecular level. By utilizing revolutionary soy-based technology, we have created a highly effective pesticide-free spray. Here's how it works. When a fly comes near Fly-By Plus, it will actually feel a molecular change in its exoskeleton. As a survival device, the fly will move away from the area that has been sprayed. Fly-By Plus also contains geranium oil for mosquitoes and gnats too. Fly-By Plus is biodegradable, non-toxic, and safe for your horse and the environment. You can learn more at guaranteedhorseproducts.com or ask for Fly-By Plus fly spray at your local feed dealer. Well, that about takes care of it. You can find links to today's guests as well as lots more tips at horsetipdaily.com. Make sure you have all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go by downloading the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone or Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. It's free and easy to use. You can also subscribe via iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. And while you're at it, head on over to iTunes and give us a rating. Review us. Tell iTunes how much you love us. That helps our rankings. And thanks again to our sponsor, Guaranteed Horse Products, makers of Fly-By Fly Spray. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.